one thing I did want to get into is apparently Roseanne Barr was on old Piers Morgan. Roseanne Barr is hilarious. She is absolutely hilarious. And Piers Morgan is a giant piece of shit. So I'm hoping for hilarious, funny, giant piece of shit right now. This is what we're going for. This is what we're shooting for, folks. And this video does contain swearing. Just so you guys are aware, there is swearing in this video. It will contain a little bit of swearing. So, if you're weak, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to push play on this. I'm going to keep my headphones on. I'm going to listen to it with you guys. Yeah, let's do this.
But fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be hot and humid right now, my next guest, because it's someone who normally has something very well worth listening to.
Are you ever sorry we got married?
Every second of my life.
She's the world's most cancelled comic. If you just feel like you can't say it, well, the chances are Roseanne Barr's probably already said it.
Do I seem bitchy to you at all?
And lately, that's been getting her into a whole lot of trouble.
Nobody died in the Holocaust either. 6 million Jews should die right now, but it never happened.
The Jewish comic is accused of being homophobic, transphobic, even anti-Semitic, and was sensationally dropped from her own sitcom for racist tweets. Fans say she's misunderstood. Critics say she's missing her marbles.
All
right, that's the first question for the chat. First question for the chat is, do we think her tweet was racist? She got canceled from the Roseanne Barr show for. Do you guys remember the tweet? She apparently posted a picture of one of the ape people from Planet of the Apes. And that girl that looks exactly like one of the people from the Planet of the Apes. Who... I can't even remember her name right now. But it was a spot on picture. But apparently it's racist because the girl identified as black or something. Roseanne was like, I didn't even know she was black. She looks like the white ape person. I thought it was funny, and there was a lot of resemblance there. That's all I'm going to say.
protects me from myself.
Tonight, I say she's uncensored. Well, I'm delighted to say I'm joined live from Texas by the host of the Roseanne Barr podcast. It's Roseanne. Roseanne, how are you?
I'm great. How are you, Piers?
Well, I can't think of anybody I would rather have on a show called Uncensored than you.
She looks good, though.
Of course, you're smart.
Have we gone mad, Roseanne, in our world? When I look at all the fallout to the things that you say or do, I look at the sort of apoplexy that people bring to jokes, to humor, to sarcasm, to irony, all these things. And I really despair. The very essence of comedy, for example, is being expunged from human life.
Yes, it is. Yeah, well, you should despair, Piers, and so should anybody who has a brain or, any humanity whatsoever, or any connection to any other human beings on earth. They should despair too. I say that they are weaponizing stupidity, and people have sunk to such a level that they can't handle satire, because satire is when you take two disparate subjects and bring them together to defamiliarize reality, such as a poet does with words. Defamiliarize reality. And they cannot hold two disparate ideas in their head at the same time, because they're fed bullshit 24/7 over the media. And I'm about to go crazy sitting here on the earphone hearing the stuff you all are saying about the Ukraine. I'm about to have a heart attack, but I'm not even going to go into it. I'm from the Ukraine. There is a large faction of Nazis. I don't know if you know this, but there's a large amount of Nazis in the Ukraine, and
Oh
they
yeah.
actually killed
Oh
my
yeah.
whole family. I'm from the Ukraine, and they marched my entire family, grandmothers, great
Well, look,
grandparents, 10
yeah, look,
siblings out into the forest and buried them alive in the Ukraine. So I don't understand why everybody's Ukraine. Well, I do understand. And that's also what terrifies me. People better wake up and do some research on their own instead of buying what comes
Facts.
across on the screen. And I
Facts.
try
I
to
mean,
shake them up, Pierce. You're goddamn right I do. I try to shake them up and crack
Let's
their
go, Roseanne.
mind
You tell
control
him.
programming. I do it for God.
You tell him,
well, here's
Roseanne.
Roseanne.
She hit it on the head, though. Why does nobody talk about we're paying Nazis to shoot Christians? And America's supposed to get on board with the Ukraine war. What are we talking about here? We literally like poked Putin in the eye repeatedly until he was finally like, fuck it. You know what I mean? And they're like, what do you mean, fuck it? Let me poke you again. Shit is retarded. It is absolutely retarded. We baited him into a war. We're in a war now. Now we're going to fund the Nazis to protect so-called democracy, which Ukraine does not have a democracy. They have a political party installed by the American CIA in the color revolution of what, 2014 or something? So we install Zelensky, which is a full leather bodysuit, high heel dancing fruitcake, actor, comedian, or whatever you want to call this weirdo. So we install him as our puppet president, and then he's playing the acting role of a lifetime. He's pretending he's Churchill or something. It's absolutely nonsense. America has been taking advantage of Ukraine and utilizing the country to embezzle and funnel money and do secret lab experiments and do all kinds of shady shit the government can't do at home because it's illegal and they're not supposed to be doing it. So they just do it in Russia. I mean, not Russia, I'm sorry. They just do it in Ukraine and then pay the Ukrainian government to cover it all up. Putin's like, look, we can't have the Nazis taking over Ukraine and joining the UN, putting more missiles on our border with direct access to block off our access to water during most of the year because it's cold in Russia. And we got one waterway we can use. If anybody looks at it objectively, you can clearly see why Putin had to do something. We're not letting another country move missiles into Mexico or Cuba. They already tried that, remember? We're not letting Canada put a strategic missile, shit right on our... No, it's not happening. We would not allow it. If China tries to set up a strategic missile command in Canada, believe me, we will shut that shit down or we will invade Canada. Facts. And everybody's like, oh, Putin, what are you doing? You're such a mean guy. And he's like, bro, I did everything I could possibly do not to have to kill these Nazis. But look, I'm going to have to kill some Nazis, okay? It's time to kill some Nazis. You fucked around. Time to find out. This is the game we're playing, apparently. So this is why Trump knows that he can end it day one. Because he's going to call the UN. He's going to tell them to suck a dick. Sit down. You're not getting Ukraine. Calm down. He's going to go to Putin. He's going to be like, look, the UN, they're over there. They're sucking. Okay? They're good. We got them busy. They're occupied. Come back to the table. Come back to the table. And then he'll come back to the table. And then there'll be peace all over the world again. Peace all over the world again.
And what I would say to that, I don't agree with you about a lot of the stuff you said about Ukraine. I know what you said, and you're perfectly entitled to your views. I would say in relation to the suggestion that they're all a bunch of
You
Nazis.
haven't seen the swastikas on those
Roseanne,
soldiers' arms.
The
It's in the
President Zelensky
news.
himself is Jewish, so obviously he is de facto not a Nazi.
I know, but he's not a good one. Are all Jews the same? For God's sake, talk about anti-Semitic. Just because the guy's a Jew doesn't mean he likes Jews or that he's doing anything good for the Jews. I mean,
Facts.
so what? Who cares what anybody is? That was the whole point of my tweet. Just because they're skin folk don't mean they're kin folk. You know what I mean? Just because they're the same color as you don't mean they ain't trying to lock your ass up. Wake up, people!
There's a fucking t-shirt or a bumper sticker. Just because we're skin folk don't mean we're kin folk.
Snap out of it.
Okay.
Roseanne's
Listen,
going off.
Like I said,
love it.
you're uncensored, so you're perfectly entitled to your views. I'm entitled to a different view. I'm
I'll
sure
be
you would
nice.
accept that. It's okay. I'm going to be nice. You're perfectly
I
entitled
can
to
accept
say
that
what
you
you
have a
think.
different view, Piers. I can speak respectfully to another human being because I actually, I love to converse and I just get passionate sometimes. And I love that people disagree with me. I love to have conversations. So excuse my passion.
It's okay. Of course, passion's fine. There was a big outcry recently where I defended you, actually, where you were accused of
I know you did. I watched you. I was shocked.
Right. Well, I call things as I see them. And on that occasion, it was clear to me that you were saying a statement which you didn't actually mean to be taken literally. You were exposing a wider picture of what you believe to be media untruths. Yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that it went over everybody's head isn't my fault.
Well, I'm going to play it. Let's play a clip again to remind people of what got you into trouble. Then I'll come and say what I think about it again.
Be sure to include the context, which was there's no way in hell Biden got 81 million votes. If you don't include that context, you're going to make me mad, Piers.
Okay, well, I don't want to make you mad, but we've got a 42...
Because that's a big lie, too.
We have a 42-second clip. Let's take a look.
Thinking about going solar, but not sure whether it's worth it for your home? Well,
look at this guy, bro. Holy shit.
The election was not rigged. 36 counties can give you 81 million votes.
Right.
That's a fact.
So it wasn't rigged.
Of course not.
Yeah.
36 counties have 81 million people in them.
Yeah.
See? That's the truth. And
Yeah.
don't you dare say anything against it or you'll be off YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and all the other ones because we have, there's such a thing as the truth and facts and we have to stick to it. And,
It's scary.
and that is the truth. And nobody died in the Holocaust either.
No.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
It should happen. 6 million Jews should die right now because they cause all the problems in the world, but it never happened. But it never happened.
Yeah.
Now, I listened to that in full context.
She was clearly speaking. She was opposite speaking. She was saying that Biden won the election clearly because there's obviously 81 million people that live in 36 counties as complete horseshit. Everybody knew what she was saying was complete horseshit. That she meant the complete opposite. That obviously he didn't get 81 million votes. Obviously they stole that shit. And then just to put the icing on the cake, she went, obviously nobody died in the Holocaust. Because the opposite is true of what she was saying.
Context. I listened to a lot more of it. And it was absolutely crystal clear and obvious to me that you didn't mean anything that you were saying there. In fact, you meant the complete opposite. But it was sliced and diced and put out on social media. And then the next thing is you have Roseanne Barr, who is actually Jewish, being accused of denying the Holocaust, which obviously is ridiculous. Why do these things happen?
Because I'm a targeted individual. As I say, you know, for 6,000 years, there has been a Jewish civil war, and nobody knows about it. And I speak about it a lot. But it's, you know, it's at its climax right now. And I have been targeted by, you know, largely Jewish people on the other side of the political spectrum. Our view is centered on whether Israel should exist or not. And these are things we don't talk about in public. But when I ran for president in 2012, they used to stand up and it was always Jewish people with silver ponytails, Marxists, you know, they would stand up. I ran as a socialist, and they would stand up and scream, "What about the illegal occupation of blah, blah?" And I couldn't believe it, because they would do it over and over and over again to attack me because I'm a Jew, I think. But Marxist Jews are not the same as the kind of Jew I am, and that's what really makes me mad, because when people assume that there's only one kind of Jew, they're missing a shitload of history. And I feel like, you know, I'm here to speak to that. And also, the context that I used was about the internet is full of Holocaust denial, Nazi comments, and saying, but the thing they always say is, no Jews were killed in the Holocaust, but it should happen. That's what they all say. And it's all over BitChute comments, YouTube. It's wall to wall. That's why I left Facebook. It made me so sick. It was wall to wall anti-Semitism. And these same people, these socialists, aging socialists, which I won't even go into what a scam socialism is. I've talked about that online a lot. But anyway, you know, they have made me their target because they don't think that I'm the right kind of Jew. And they don't think that any Jew who thinks like I do is the right kind of Jew. And so I have to live with that. And it is within my community. And it's just like when black activists come on and talk about, you know, being targeted by their own community too. It's much the same. It's a cultural war, and it is.
That's facts. That's facts. If you stand on the side of truth, which Roseanne does, she's on the right, you'll get attacked. Even if you're a Jew, you get attacked by a Jew. If you're a black Republican, you get attacked by the blacks. If you're a gay Republican, you get attacked by the gays. Because that's what the left does. That's what the left does, folks. They attack. That's their MO. It's what they do. I appreciate everybody tapping in on Rumble. Make sure you guys hit the follow, hit the join if you can. We appreciate you tapping in.
Between, you know, the far left and normal, sane human beings, such as myself.
Well, Roseanne, I don't think any of us are normal, sane human beings. My theory is we're all slightly nuts, and it's just a question of degree, but that's just a personal view. We can take a short break. When we come back, I'm going to ask you the most contentious.
Piers. Hey, Piers.
Well, I'm going to ask you the most controversial. I'm going to ask you the most controversial question in the world after the break.
I want to tell you a joke. Okay.
Well, tell me the joke after the break. We'll be back in 2 seconds. Welcome back to Piers Morgan Uncensored, live from New York. It's one of the most famous sites in the world, of course. And still with me is the world's most cancelled comedian, which is still there, Roseanne Barr. So, Roseanne, we left viewers on a cliffhanger. You were about to tell me a joke.
I don't belong here. Brianna, Roger.
Yeah, I wanted to say 2 things. One is, we have a joke, those of us who have mental health issues, that there's insane and outsane. So I wanted to cap off what you were saying before. But also I wanted to finish saying that just last week, these leftists, such as are in the Biden administration, the State Department of the United States instituted a boycott, divest, and sanction against the Jewish people in Israel, and also with American businesses who do trading business with Israel. So it's a boycott of Israel and of America, the Biden administration, State Department. So there is never an end to their censorship, their jackboot on your face if you don't do what they want, and if the Jews don't do what they want. But I'm happy to say that for the first time in Israel and Knesset, there is not one progressive, nor is there one leftist in the Knesset, and the Jewish people in Israel couldn't be happier and feel that they've been freed from slavery. I just want to say
Okay.
that.
Leslie,
That's fine.
welcome.
You said it. What is
Late
the
night
what is the
stream.
joke that you were going to tell me?
That people with mental health issues say there's insane and outsane.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry.
Those are the
I'm
only
sorry.
two things.
I thought you were making a serious statement about
Ha,
it. Okay, I get it. Now, listen, Roseanne, let me ask you the most difficult question in the world, apparently. What is a woman?
How much do I weigh?
No, what is a woman?
A woman is me. A woman is somebody whose breasts hang down to her stomach and who has a prolapsed uterus from giving birth to 5 ungrateful little bastards who have never had to work for a thing in their goddamn life. That's what a woman is.
I see. And how do the ungrateful little bleeps, how do they react when you say things like this about them?
Oh, they laugh. They have good senses of humor. You should hear the horrible jokes they tell about me. You wouldn't believe they have the worst jokes about me. The
Roseanne,
kids
what's your
too.
life?
My
Let me
8-year-old
ask you.
grandson.
I was going to ask you, Roseanne, you've obviously been through the mincer a bit in recent years, but how are you in yourself? I mean, you happy? You have a happy life?
Yes, I do. I have a joyous, wonderful life. It's a bit hot down here. Woo! But yeah, I have. I own myself and my soul and my space and my ethereal thinking and my art. And I have a wonderful, loving family. And my mother's still alive. She's 89. She's a bit of a libtard, but I overlook it. But and so are my gay brother and my gay sister, and all of my family actually are libtards. But you know, I just pray for them and love them.
And do they do the same for you, do you think?
Oh, they think I'm completely off the. They think I went off the planet. Oh yeah, but they love me. They just don't. They just don't engage. But you know, when you're sitting there at Passover and you know you're drinking the cups of wine to celebrate, you know, leaving Egypt, and one of your libtard nephews, or I mean grandsons, whatever it is, he stands up. What about the Egyptians who were slaughtered? Shut the hell up!
You know, here's the thing, Roseanne, is that obviously you like saying, you know, outrageous things, and I like that about you.
Yeah, they just played a clip of the Theo Vaughn podcast that she was on where she was talking like in opposite speak, saying that obviously Biden got all the votes, meaning that he didn't get the votes, and then said obviously nobody died in the Holocaust, meaning that obviously people died in the Holocaust, and that they took it, flipped it, and put it out there once again to try to cancel her over some fake bullshit. Some fake bullshit.
Actually, I think more people should be doing this
in
life. But it seems to me you don't necessarily fall out with even your nearest and dearest over it. Have we all just got too sensitive? Are we too over-offended? Should we just be able to say outrageous things and then have a drink and a laugh with each other?
Yes, we should.
Check it out, Piers. The people that are saying everything's offensive are walking down the street swinging their penises in kids' face, dressed. Those are the people who say shit's offensive. The fucking, you know what I mean? Jesus. Hey, hello? I say, women,
Roseanne?
this is my advice to today's woman. Keep your penis in your pants, especially when children are around, women.
Roseanne, I think we've certainly lived up to the billing of...
Shouldn't be that hard, people. Keep it in the pants. I didn't know. Theo Vaughn can't post for a week, so he got banned for a week. He got a week strike. For Roseanne doing some satire? Okay, that's interesting.
Uncensored. Thank you very much indeed for joining the show. I appreciate it. Good to see you, and good luck with your tour, which I know is selling like hotcakes, and I'm not surprised.
She's almost funnier in interviews or just talking, having a conversation, like on a Theo Vaughn podcast, than she is doing stand-up. I'm not. I don't like her on stage that much. I mean, obviously she's funny. She does have some good jokes, but I don't know. I don't find very many female comedians like funny. There's a couple, but it's kind of rare for a female. Like female comedians, they'll be like raunchy or skanky or self-deprecating, but they're not like funny. Like, get your belly laughing funny. Um, I agree with Steven Crowder on the one thing. He says that Kathleen Madigan is a super funny female comedian. I do agree with him on that. I definitely do agree with him on that. Joe Rogan and Tom Segura said that as well. Oh, they're the ones that said that Theo got banned for a week.